Hi, so today I'm going to be doing this week's Top 5 Wednesday, which are books from before you joined BookTube. So this is basically any book you read before you joined BookTube or started blogging about books or anything like that. So I could have chosen quite a few books for this, but I've narrowed it down to, well, I didn't narrow it down, I'm basically doing the first 5 books that I thought of when I saw this topic. So let's just get straight on into it. The first book I'm going to mention is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. So you may have seen this book quite a few times on my channel as it is one of my favourites. As you can probably guess by the cover, this is a retelling of The Wizard of Oz, and it's basically Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, when she was younger, going through school, how she met Glinda, and how in the end she became the Wicked Witch of the West. And I really love this. It's the whole series. It's got 4 books altogether. I don't know why I'm holding up 3 fingers, I should be holding up 4. But yeah, 4 books altogether. But overall, Wicked is probably my favourite. And if you do like Wizard of Oz, and if you do like retellings, I would say definitely give this a go. Next book I'll mention is The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. Now I'm going to mention this because at the end of 2015 I was in a really big slump. I was reading The Girl on the Train and it just sent me into the biggest slump ever. And then in about February 2016 I picked this up and it got me out of this slump. So this is why I love this so much. This is set in 1686 and a young girl has gone to marry an older gentleman. And it basically follows that family. So there's the gentleman, his sister, and I think there's a cook and a butler as well. And basically this young girl keeps getting sent different miniature pieces for a doll's house her husband got her, and each piece kind of tells a secret about each member of the family. It's all really interesting and I do really like this, and this is what made Jessie Burton one of my favourite authors. Next I'm going to mention The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. Now this is one of my favourite crime novels. This follows a detective called Cormoran Strike who is an amputee and a war veteran, and he has basically become a private detective, and in the first novel he has to find out whether a model committed suicide or whether it is actually murder. There's 3 books altogether and there's another one coming out I think this year which I can't wait for. If you do like your crime novels, you will love this. And also maybe if you want to start reading more adult novels, maybe go for this because you know J.K. Rowling, she's pretty good at writing. So this might be the perfect gateway into a different genre or into adult literature. Next I'm going to mention one of my favourite books, and that is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. Now I read this just after Neil Gaiman did his Doctor Who episode, I think it was The Doctor's Wife or something like that, and I thought I'd try out some of Neil Gaiman's writing, especially since I found out he wrote Coraline and Stardust as well. And Neverwhere, it really interested me. Basically a young gentleman, he's moved from Scotland to London and this random girl just shows up in his house, and they end up going to London Below and having a little adventure there. But basically London Below is basically London topsy-turvy. So like the Angel Islington is actually an angel. You've got the Old Bailey who lives on top of the Old Bailey. It's all very weird and stuff like that, but I do really like it. And I've also got an illustrated edition of this, which I think I might read soon just because I haven't read it with the illustrations. And now there's a book that I haven't really mentioned on my channel, and that is Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. So I've never mentioned this on my channel just because all my books have been at home, as in my parents' house, just because I haven't had any room in the flat for them. But I've got another bookcase, so it now sits on there, so now I can finally talk about Game of Thrones on my channel. But basically I read these a few years ago. I read them one after each other. It took me a grand total of about 5 or 6 months to read them all, and I do really like them. I think it does get worse as it goes along, just because so many people are introduced, you don't know who's on whose side, but the first few, especially Game of Thrones, it is amazing. And I don't think I really need to go through it. You've probably all heard about the TV show and stuff, and this is just too complicated to discuss really. Basically it's based about a war in Westeros and different people want to be king and queen. That's the simplest I can put it, and it doesn't really do a good job of explaining it. So yeah, those are my top 5 books I read before joining BookTube. What books did you read before you joined BookTube? Because it'd be interesting to know, especially see how your reading changed after joining BookTube or before you started blogging. So yeah, as usual, you can like this video, subscribe to this channel, and there's also my social media which I will link down below. So I will see you later with a new video. Bye!